I've made videos about elegance, looking polished, classy, blah, blah, blah. And there's a reason this is something that I touch on, and it is because it is something that could elevate you from the background wallflower feeling plain to feeling like that girl. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and I run the blog called Mrs. Midwest. Before we dive into the topic of today's video, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been reaching out, praying for us, cheering us on. If you haven't seen the latest on my Instagram or my blog, we're going through a bit of a tough time right now as a family. My husband was injured at work. I lost my grandfather a day after the accident. There's been a lot going on, but your love, your encouragement has not gone unnoticed. And we've had the surgery last week, and today is kind of a quiet day for me. My in-laws are helping out with the kids, and I was thinking about what would help me feel like life is getting back to normal. Talking about these kind of topics and, connecting with all of you guys, it brings me out of the tough times at home, and it allows me to focus on something else for a while. So thank you for tuning in. This video idea has been in the works for a little bit, and it might be a little ambiguous at first, so I'm going to break it down. Essentially, I want to offer some helpful advice for women who might feel like wallflowers, people who feel a little bit more plain Jane or average, people who might just struggle feeling like they just blend in. The reality is there are people on this planet, models and the like, who can walk into a room, grab attention, male attention, female attention, and then there's just average women. Maybe you found my channel because you're on a glow up journey, or you found my channel because you're interested in increasing your femininity. And I think there is absolutely no shame in wanting to increase kind of your visuals so that you can attract not the wrong attention. Like, this video isn't about how to grab attention and like look crazy and get all the guys. It's more so, how can you amplify what you've got going on? How can you increase your visual appeal in a way that's natural, healthy, without like jumping to plastic surgery or extremes? So the reality is that not everybody has the same volume of beauty. Some people have it cranked up to 10. The Lord gave them, the face of a model, like I said. And if there is to be an extreme of beauty, there's also going to be an average and a below average. And I really think it's sometimes frustrating when you find content online where it's a very beautiful person and they're just saying, oh, have confidence, or wear this outfit, or do this workout, and you're going to increase your visuals. Sometimes that's not really helpful. So I wanted to come up with a very practical outline for strategies. And I feel like it can be hard too, because we live in this visual world where, especially if you're dating, there's social media, so there's photos involved with swiping. No matter the dating app you're on, there's always photos. And it can feel like if you are looking plain in like a group picture, you don't photograph well, and then in person you just feel plain and you feel like you blend into the background. It can feel really like disheartening and confusing, and it can be so easy to dog on your natural beauty and the natural way God made you. How can we take your natural beauty and then apply some strategies, apply some overlays to really help you stand out? So the first one, so obvious, you guys know I was going to get into this. Play up your femininity. There's a really good example of this in the film, I love it, Austin Land. And there is this woman, and she's, lovely, kind of like a little bit looking plain. They put her in a brown dress, bad hair. No bueno. Once they put her in feminine colors, they lighten up her hair. It's kind of like my advice from my feminine fashion and my feminine hair video. The colors, the palettes, the softness around the face. She just looks beautiful and shines, and that's working that visual femininity. So if you're feeling plain, if you're feeling like you're like blending into the background, peek at my feminine fashion and my feminine hair videos for just structural, practical elements for how to increase your femininity. I'm wearing pink. I'm wearing my hair down. I have my soft bangs. I have some makeup going on. I am working the visual femininity as I'm talking to you right now. Yes, I'm feminine because I'm a woman, but I'm amplifying it through these details. So if you haven't yet, something to consider is to just increase your visual femininity. The plainest woman in a dress, showing like I am a woman, I am a woman, you know, with your clothes, not skin tight or anything, you know, if you don't feel comfortable with that, but just something that shows your shape in a dichotomized way, because we want to enhance that dichotomy between male and female. So if you stay away from clothes that males wear, working the skirts, working the dresses, working the heels, the purses, you know, that classically feminine stuff. So even if you're plain, the male eye is going to draw to you because you have that contrasted feminine look. Play up your femininity, and you might be surprised at the difference of attention and interactions you get even from women. That's kind of an interesting element, but I've noticed that when you're dressing like more femininely, even women respond really positively to that. It takes a lot of confidence to like be vulnerable in a way where you're showing your feminine shape. You're showing that you're a woman to the world by wearing like a vulnerable color, like a pink or a purple, you know, something girly. I even have struggled with that in the past. Like you feel like you're taking down this wall when you show that softer side of yourself. But that is my number like one strategy. I think if you're feeling plain, if you're not like getting the type of attention that you desire from men, if you're not like turning heads as much, going a little bit more feminine, even a lot more feminine with your visual look is a way to stop blending in, especially because we have so much androgynous clothing. Nowadays, we have so much like overlap with male and female styles and even ways of presenting. Okay, my second piece of advice, if you're feeling plain, if you're feeling like you're just blending into the world, is to add visual contrast to your look. Adding visual contrast can help you stand out. Now, this can be many things, and I will outline a bunch of examples. So the first one would honestly be something like a makeup, like a lipstick, or something a little uncommon, like growing out your hair really long, or if you have curly hair, like wearing it full, carrying accessories, or maybe playing up your height by wearing high heels, or even having more of like an alternative style of dressing, something striking. You could go pixie manic dream girl with like indie record, alternative kind of style, boho. Some girls like, you know, to wear kind of like a feminized version of like a lot of blacks and like emo stuff. But then there's also contrasting your natural environment. So you can contrast like the local women or the local style by maybe like wearing a dress when everyone's wearing jeans, or wearing jeans when everyone's wearing a dress. You know, there's different ways to do this, but either way, it's going to help you stand out more. I just urge you to maintain your beauty as you add visual contrast. Beauty is more important than the visual contrast as far as looking visually appealing and working your feminine assets, because your number one feminine asset is your beauty. So if you add a contrasting thing on top of it, that kind of takes away from some of your beauty. It's not worth it. Okay, so this is all very dependent on what you actually look like, but start experimenting. I think something fun about adding contrast is it gives you confidence. When I started wearing more colors, more like big patterns, and just sweeping, flowy kind of like long jackets and coats and heels and purses, I just started like acting like that girl who would wear long sweeping jackets and carry a nice bag and look like she knows what she's doing. It's kind of cool. Like when you start dressing in a certain way, it's like your personality starts reflecting that as well. And it's very confidence enhancing. I think we can sometimes focus so much on the confidence it takes to even put on that outfit that we forget about the confidence that that outfit reflects back onto you, that it feeds into. It's like a nice little cycle. So it's going to be hard, but if you start adding like more contrast and getting more comfortable, you're going to grow into the confidence it takes to continue doing that. All right, my third tip, we're moving on. Sophistication, polished. I've made videos about elegance, looking polished, classy, blah, blah, blah. And there's a reason this is something that I touch on, and it is because it is something that could elevate you from the background wallflower feeling plain to feeling like that girl. Sophistication is different than working your femininity. It's even different than working like contrast. It's working a very specific element of our world, and that is the fact that we live in a classist society. And that is just kind of like how things run. And I feel like we can use it to our advantage by playing up certain things that signal sophistication. Now, this would be working. Have you guys heard of that old money aesthetic? There's a reason it's popular, and it's because it works. It like elevates someone's overall look. So if you're going from like a sweatpants, t-shirt, blah background person to suddenly wearing a sophisticated linen trouser outfit with a nice bag and gold hoop earrings, you know, it makes you look sophisticated. It makes you look a little more elite and elevated, and that helps you break out from the background. If you look at heiresses and people who even in royalty, they're not always the most like facially beautiful. But because of that air of sophistication, because they know how to put together an outfit in a way that just looks right, and they carry the bag, they have the jewelry, they have like it all going, they don't blend in. Even like your average Nantucket, like rich kind of Connecticut wifey lady, usually they're not like the most beautiful in the face, but they're sophisticated and they look it with their clothes. So working this angle it takes a little bit of studying, honestly. And I'm not talking about like flashy money kind of look, you know. I'm talking about kind of that old prep school kind of style, the preppy, sophisticated look where you got your linens, your cable knits, your cottons. You have your very tailored clothing that fits properly in luxurious materials, lots of layering, pashminas, totes, bags, clutches, jewelry, the right shoes for the right occasion. It's not even about being dressed up all the time. It's just about having that air of sophistication. And honestly, I think this is something all of us maybe should do to a small degree. Like, we don't all have to start wearing like fisherman cable knit sweaters and relaxed denim and carry Longchamp totes. No. But having a put together polished outfit, having an earring on, maybe like your nails groomed and like elegant jewelry, and having like a nicely fitted outfit, that's going to lend an air of sophistication, and it's going to help you have that visually striking look. And I've noticed like a lot of men will treat you differently if you have like a more sophisticated look on. It's unfortunate, but it's reality. So if you're feeling plain, if you're feeling like my facial beauty is not enough to get me noticed, maybe consider working on your general air of sophistication. And this is very different advice from number 2, because number 2, you could dress in a really cool, like skater alternative style, and it could make you look less plain. I think that's why I wanted to make this video, because there's so many different strategies you can take to looking visually interesting and working your feminine appeal. And it's going to be different for each person. You can dupe sophisticated looks, but you just have to know what to look for. Study kind of that preppy Ralph Lauren kind of feel until you kind of know what you're looking for. But I would say stick to neutrals, stick to like navy blues, browns, like don't clash your clothes, kind of stay away from patterns, work with layering, make sure everything is tailored, and always have earrings, some jewelry, like a tennis bracelet, even if it's a fake, and like neutral shoes, clean shoes, wear a heel every so often, always carry a neutral, nice bag, nothing too flashy, not a ton of logos, etc., etc. Let's move on to number 4, which is health and fitness. Even the most facially unattractive woman, barring serious disabilities that keep you out of the gym, all of us have an element where we can get fitter, we can get stronger, we can work our bodies and get in better shape. This is a strategy that I think it's kind of overlooked, because I think sometimes we feel like, oh, my body just is the way it is. Yes, But there's usually room for improvement. And I'm not just talking about like weight loss. I'm also just talking about getting stronger, getting toned up, getting into the gym. And if we're specifically talking about gathering male attention in a positive way, but attracting male attention, men love fit women. They love healthy, vibrant, fit women. And the reality is, going to the gym or getting fit or getting outside, doing cardio, starting to lift weights, it doesn't matter if your actual body mass does not go down a pound. Just doing that stuff is going to make you look more vibrant. It's going to affect your hormones. It's going to give you more energy. So you're going to have a little bit more of a glow about you. It's going to make the whites of your eyes sparkle. It's going to make your just energy and strength go up. Your body's going to feel stronger. You're going to feel better, more confident, etc. So I'm not just talking like get fit and that's how you get attention. Like, no, I'm saying do this and be shocked at how vibrant it helps you feel and be. And I can attest to this. I feel like the least vibrant I ever was in my life was when I was on bed rest with my second son, because I wasn't able to be fit. I was exhausted. Like I feel like so much younger and stronger now that I can get out and like do my cardio and get healthy, and I feel like more confident in my body, Simply getting more in shape is going to improve your overall visual appeal as a woman, because when you work your body, you're going to carve away and work that female God-given shape you have. And that is going to be very visually appealing. Take a look at many female athletes, female Olympians, females. Yes, you have your really, really gorgeous ones who get brand deals on Instagram and a ton of attention. But you also just have average looking women who have average faces, but they're fit from their sport or working out or whatever, and they're just more visually eye-catching, appealing, etc. So I think, again, if you're feeling roadblocked by the ceiling of what you have going on, getting fit is a really great way to accelerate your overall visual appeal. Not to mention, like I said, you're gonna feel more vibrant. That translates to people interacting with you, looking at you, etc. And it is true, men love healthy women. That doesn't mean looking like skin and bones with muscles. It doesn't mean looking like a Victoria's Secret model. But it means being a healthy version of yourself. And it will help you elevate out of the background of the light of your life and be like, hi, I feel good. I do my cardio and aerobics and I feel confident and strong. And that is an excellent way to increase the feminine asset of being a woman, working your body, eating healthier too. I find for me, what happens in the kitchen makes the biggest difference. But I really encourage you, if you haven't taken a walk recently, start there. That's really mostly what I do for exercise, walking and Pilates, and it's made a big difference. Okay, and then number 5, I wanted to cover this last one in case you are working your femininity, kind of playing up some visual contrast, being sophisticated with your clothes and getting healthy, and you're still feeling blah. You're still not getting like the reactions you want. You're still not kind of standing out at all. And that is to work your charisma. Charisma. What do I mean by that? It is your general energy, and it is how you interact with other people, your conversation skills, working the social energy of any interaction. I'm not encouraging us all to just go into the room and try to grab as much attention as possible by being the loudest or the happiest or whatever. But I'm trying to draw attention to the fact that how we carry ourselves and our spirit and our energy and how we, treat other people and how we interact has a huge effect on our overall visual and in-person appeal. Something that I thought of to outline this is 2 different actresses who are doing press circuits around the same time. I think they are pretty much comparable with overall beauty, give or take a few points depending on your personal taste. But the actresses are Brie Larson and Emilia Clarke. These two actresses are both white women. They're both like around the same level of beauty, but they have huge differences in their charisma in interviews. Brie Larson was known for being like whatever the opposite of charisma is. She was very dull and combative and hostile in her interviews compared to Emilia Clarke, who is very like bubbly and humble and charming in her interviews. And their likability and overall beauty, like it's just skyrockets when you see Emilia interact with people. So when I'm talking charisma, I'm talking about reducing your hostility towards people. And the thing is, you might not even realize how hostile you're coming across because you're just being yourself or just standing up for what blah, blah, blah. But if you're always kind of like coming at people with that like energy, it can reduce your overall appeal 1,000%. So I really didn't want to put charisma in a video about character because your charisma has a huge effect on how people perceive you. Your first flash of what someone looks like might get you through the door, but once you start talking to them, interacting with them, their personality almost matters more than what they look like. If we start on a base level of looking good, being groomed, looking feminine, doing everything sophisticated, blah, blah, blah. If we have two girls who are doing all those things, healthy, everything I said, and one is very charismatic and the other one isn't, this girl is going to win every single time. And that's just the reality. I think a lot of us in my recent video about real feminine confidence, I forget what the title is, but I talked about this like popular Pinterest like bad bee kind of like baddie style that I've seen very popular, where the girl's just like eyelids half closed, like just like smoking a cig, like not a care in the world. And I think a lot of girls like idolize that and they want to be mysterious and sexy like that. And so they think, oh, if I act like that, I'll look hot like her and mysterious like her. But the unfortunate thing is that's kind of like a photo shoot persona that does not translate to real life. Because if you meet those kind of people in real life and they have that negative energy, it turns people off a lot. And I'm not saying you have to transplant a new personality onto yourself, but consider your overall charm and charisma if you are struggling in the overall appeal category. Simply being a warm person is a very, very good place to start. You don't have to be loud, outgoing, like the most social person, but just having a warmth. So if someone happens to interact with you, you have a base level of being welcoming, loving, kind. Fruits of the Spirit, I'm always referencing them. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. So as tempting as it is to look like the mysterious girl who hates everything, sometimes you have a lot more success when you are the happy girl who loves her life and is joyful. And I will say, I've even noticed when I go out into public with a bad attitude on a grumpy day where I'm just not happy, the interactions I have with people are far less positive than when I go out in a great mood, smiling, interacting with people. It's night and day. And my face, fashion, hair, beauty, femininity, sophistication has not changed. The only thing that changes from the bad day to the good day is my charisma. And no, we cannot always be happy. We cannot always be bouncing off the walls. But it would maybe be a good thing for us to learn how to have more joy in our lives, more peace, so that when we do go out and when we are trying to, I think the underlying like part of this video that I haven't quite said, but like attracting men too, charisma can get you a long way, okay? And yeah, don't change your personality and be something you're not. But I think a lot of us have that childlike joy within us. We have the ability to find peace and like a general warmth about us. And that's really what I'm encouraging you to consider. Because if you don't want to blend into the background, your personality has a lot to do with that too. And you don't have to have the funniest jokes or the loudest personality, but being a warm person, being a safe place, being a peaceful person is so inviting and so attractive to men, women, people of all ages around you. So that's my video. That is my advice for if you're feeling plain, if you don't have the visual natural beauty that, you know, you wish you had and you're feeling like, oh, I can't compete with those models out there. I do all of these things to increase like my overall visual appeal. You know, you kind of have to do that a bit as a YouTuber, but I've also just found this advice helpful in my own life, like working my femininity and getting fit, and everything else I said has been very helpful to me. So hope this was helpful. Leave your advice below. If you were once a plain Jane wallflower and you've broken free from that identity, share below how you did that. I think it's very interesting. I've had seasons in my life too where I felt very plain, and that's why I have my glow up video. That's why I have all this content, because I've been on this journey too, and now I feel confident and vibrant and all of that. So thank you for tuning in. I'll give you updates about our family as we go, but as for right now, my husband's pain is reducing. Everything's kind of settling down. Things are getting easier. He's not back to work and he won't be for a while. But your prayers are felt, and I think they're helping. So thank you guys. I love you all. If you're interested in more of this kind of content, I have a lot of femininity and beauty related visual kind of stuff on my channel. If you liked the video, please do like it. It makes my heart happy. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But in general, I hope you have a wonderfully blessed and feminine week, my beautiful sisters.